Greetings and welcome. We are back in Senior English A, and our objective now for the hour is to pay particular attention to a performance of Act 3 of Hamlet. Just to remind, Act 3 of Hamlet, let me give you a brief schemata. Act 3 of Hamlet can be understood in 3 parts. 1. What happens before the play within the play. 2. The play within the play. 3. Of course, what happens after the play within the play. Before the play within the play, Hamlet will treat Ophelia poorly. The play within the play, Hamlet will treat his mother and stepfather poorly. After the play, Hamlet will treat Rosencrantz and Guildenstern poorly. His mother some more poorly. But of course, Mr. Rothluder's right. The one who gets the brunt of Hamlet's, dare we call it, Mr. Keeley, acrimony, his bellicosity, is of course Polonius. At the end of a sword, shoved through a curtain, Hamlet will become a murderer by the end. Not just a murderer, but we should say murderer without any conscience. He has no sense that what he's done is A, an immoral act, and B, an act which will redound not only politically, but geopolitically, right? I mean, there's obviously going to have to be some kind of legal ramification for the fact that he stabbed the poor old man. With that in mind, to be or not to be, now for us today, means to listen or not to listen. Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Days of quiet, with turbulent and dangerous lunacy.
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Now do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof, when we would bring him on to some confession of his true state?
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Neither of question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we all brought on the way. Of these we told him, and that it seemed him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and as I think they have already ordered this night to play before him.
It is most true, and he beseeches me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too. For we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may hear affront of Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful as files, will so bestow ourselves, that seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by him, as he is behaved, if be the affliction of his love or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honours.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book. The show of such an exercise may colour your nobleness. We are oft to blame in this. 'Tis too much proof that with devotion's visage and pious action, we do sugar o'er the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true. How smart a lash that speech doth give my conscience. The harlot's cheek, beautied with plastering art, is not more ugly to the thing that helps it, than is my deed to my most painted word. O heavy burden.
I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
All right, here we go. The famed to be or not to be soliloquy.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, and I asleep, to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia.
Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honour for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now, receive them.
No, no, I never gave you aught.
My honoured lord, I know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume left, take these again. For to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor, when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Huh? Ah? Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me, for virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offences at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between heaven and earth? We are arrant knaves, all, believe, none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, go, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Farewell!
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him!
I've heard of your paintings too well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness of ignorance. Go to her no more arms. It has made me mad. I say there will be no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go!
Oh, what a noble mind is here a throne. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword. The expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mould of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. But I, a lady's most dejected and wretched, that suck the honey of his music vows, lost me that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me! To have seen what I have seen, see what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend. For what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, o'er which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on't?
He shall do well. But yet I do believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If you find him not to England, send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier had spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for all doing termagant. It out Herod's Herod. Pray you avoid it.
I warrant, your honour.
Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at the first and now was and is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now this overdone, or come tardy off, though it make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of which one must in your allowance outweigh a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have heard play, and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that neither having the accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christian pagan nor man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well, they imitated humanity so abominably.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us.
Oh, reform it altogether. And let those that play your clown speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that'll make themselves laugh, to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too, though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go make you ready. And now, my lord, will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that's presently.
Let the players make haste. Will you two help to hasten them?
We will, my lord.
What ho? Horatio.
Yes, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art e'en as just a man as e'er my conversation coped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
I do not think I flatter. For what advancement may I hope from thee, that no revenue hast but thy good spirit is to feed and clothe thee? Why should the poor be flattered? No. Let the candid tongue lick absurd pomp, and crook the pregnant hinges of the knee where thrift may follow, fawning. Dost thou hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of my choice, and could of men distinguish, her election hath sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been as one in suffering all that suffers nothing. A man that fortune's buffets and rewards hath ta'en with equal thanks. And blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commingled.
He says,
that they are not
Horatio, what a guy you are. You're the perfect kind of guy.
Stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, I in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight, before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I pray thee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's today. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join to censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing and escape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get your place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent. The faith of the chameleon's dish, I eat the air, promise cram. You cannot feed, capon so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
They're not mine now. My lord, you played once in the university, you say?
That I did, my lord. I was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, my good Hamlet. Sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive. Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I'm in country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Why?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only a gin maker. What should a man do but be merry? Oh, look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within 2 hours.
Nay, it is twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay, then let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens! Died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Let us hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year. But by Lady, he must build churches then, or else he shall suffer not thinking on. With the hobby horse, whose epitaph is for oh, the hobby horse is forgotten.
No matter how great a person you are, you'll get forgotten really quickly. Of course, he's thinking about his dad, right? Now, what happens here, if you're watching this on stage, is that somebody comes out and kind of pantomimes the major plot line of the play. That's all that's going on right now.
What means this, my lord?
This is witching a nature. It means mischief.
Will I be showing what the argument of the play?
We shall know by these fellows. The players cannot keep counsel. They'll tell all.
Will he tell us what the show meant?
Aye, or any show that you'll show. Be not you ashamed to show. He am not ashamed to tell you what it means.
You are naught, you are naught. I'll mark the play.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue? The posy of a reign.
It is brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Ouch.
but still messing on Ophelia.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round Neptune's salt wash and Tellus' orbed ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world hath times 12 30s been, since love our hearts and time did our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. Yet though I distrust, discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must. For women's fear and love holds quantity in neither aught or in extremity. Now what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is so. Where love is great, the littlest doubts are feared. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My opulent powers their functions leave to do. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one as kind for husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first.
Wormwood, wormwood.
The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine oft we break. Purpose is but the slave to memory of violent birth, but poor validity, which now like fruit unripe sticks on the tree, but fall unshaken when they mellow be. Most necessary it is that we forget to pay ourselves what to ourselves is debt. What to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending, doth the purpose lose. The violence of either grief or joy, their own enactures with themselves destroy. Where joy most revels, grief doth most lament. Grief joys, joy grieves on slender accident. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange that even our love should with our fortunes change. For 'tis a question left us yet to prove, whether love lead fortune, or else fortune love. The great man down, you mark his favorite flies. The poor advanced makes friends of enemies, and hitherto doth love on fortune tend. For who not needs shall never lack a friend, and who in want a hollow friend doth try, directly seasons him his enemy. But orderly to end where I begun, our wills and fates do so contrary run, that our devices still are overthrown. Our thoughts are ours, their end none of our own. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to me give food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose lock from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope, and anchor's cheering prison be my scope. Each opposite that plants the face of joy, meet what I would have won, and it destroy. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife. If once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here while my spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep, rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offence in it?
No, they do but jest. Poison in jest. No offence in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Marry how? Tropically. The play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the Duke's name. His wife Baptista, you shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty, and we that are free souls, it touches us not. Let the gold jade wince. Our withers are unwrung. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are a good chorus.
I would interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dallying.
You are keen, my lord, you are keen.
It would cost you a groaning to take off my edge.
Do better and worse.
So you must take husbands. Begin, murderer. Fox, leave their damnable faces and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band, thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic and dire property on wholesome life usurp immediately.
Poisoned him in the garden for his estate. His name is Gonzago. The story is extant from wit and choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What frighted with false fire?
That's my lord.
You all the play, give me some light away.
My legends, dear the weeds, the hard and galling play. For some must watch while some must sleep. So runs the world away. Would not this, sir, and the forest of feathers? If the rest of my fortunes turn Turk with me, with 2 provincial roses on my raised shoes, get me a fellowship with a cried player, sir?
Half a share.
Oh, one eye, for thou dost know, O Damon dear, this realm dismantled was of Jove himself, and now reigns here a very, very peacock.
You might have rhymed, O good Horatio.
I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my
Upon
lord.
the talk of the poisoning?
I did very well, note.
My lord, come, some music, come the recorders, for if the king like not the comedy, why then belike he likes it not, pardie. Come, some music.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
King, sir.
Has a what of him?
He's in his retirement, marvellous distemper.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord, rather with choler.
Your wisdom should show itself more rigid to signify this to his doctor. For me to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into far more choler.
Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir, pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer, my wit's diseased. But, sir, such answer as I can make you shall command, or rather as to say my mother, therefore no more, but to the matter, my mother, you say.
And thus she says, your behaviour hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration?
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So I do still by these pickers and stealers.
My lord, what is the cause of your distemper? You do surely bar the door of your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friends.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, but while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. The recorder, let me see to withdraw with you, sir. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if it would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is to unman it.
I don't well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
No, touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these bandages with your finger and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, it'll discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
These cannot I command to any utterance of harmony, I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak? Why do you think I am easy to be played upon on a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see that cloud? that's almost in shape of a camel?
Well, yes, but it's like a camel indeed.
Methinks it's like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood, and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on.
Soft. Now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural.
He doesn't want to become a bad guy.
I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words soever she be shen, to give them seals, never my soul consent.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so dangerous as that hourly grow out of his lunacies.
We will ourselves provide. Most holy and religious fear it is to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
The single and peculiar life is bound with all the strength and armour of the mind to keep itself from annoyance, but much more that spirit upon whose weal depends and rests the lives of many. The cease of majesty dies not alone, but like a gulf doth draw what's near it with it. It is a massy wheel fixed on the summit of the highest mount, to whose huge spokes 10,000 lesser things are morticed and adjoined, which when it falls, each small annexment, petty consequence, attends the boisterous ruin. Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan.
Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we will fetters put upon this fear, which now goes too free-footed.
We will haste us.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras I'll convey myself to hear the process. I'll warrant she'll tax him home, and as you said, and wisely was it said, 'tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should o'erhear the speech advantage. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offence is rank. It smells to heaven. It had the primal eldest curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray, can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy, but to confront the visage of offence? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned be double? Then I look up. My fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain defence in